the saga continues. We're back here with Michael. Michael, you have some very interesting details that have emerged, situations that have occurred with your case. Can you go ahead and tell everybody what's going on? Give us a quick summary of what you've done and what has happened, if you don't mind.
Well, our home was illegally foreclosed on in 2015. It's a constitutional void foreclosure because they did not have a clear title. They filed a quitclaim deed as the deed to transfer title that Christine's name was forged on and was never filed at the courthouse. Now I'm going to attack that as a collateral attack because it's a void judgment. All of this I've dealt with should have been over in 2015. Partly my fault because I couldn't find an attorney. I didn't know the law. They put us out at gunpoint in July of 2017 with a special needs child. That's against the law. That's can't harm a special needs child, mentally, physically, in any way. All right, we filed an affidavit title of possession December of 2022. The home was open. Their broker gave us the code to the lockbox and invited us back into our home.
Michael, I got to say this real quick. People don't understand. I don't even understand it. Like, you have your home and then you're forced to leave, and then they give you permission to come back on your property. That's freaking crazy.
In
the United States of America. Let's be honest. It ain't like you're sitting here scamming nobody. You're a hard worker, have a business. You're not broke, and this is how they treat the tax-paying citizens. It's pretty crazy, but go ahead.
Well, let's get into a little background. When they foreclosed in 2015, I tried to pay it off. Had the secured funds to pay the note off. Was told in front of Judge Kobos, the JP, on the phone, I can pay it off. We don't want your money, we want your house. Now, the reason why I think all of this is, now this is just my thoughts, but you do the math. Aquin Loan Servicing was the loan servicer. They did not have the promissory note. That was IndyMac Bank. Foreclosure was done by Aquin, okay? During this time frame from 14 to 17, they were being investigated for mortgage fraud. In 2018, they paid like a $3 billion fine for mortgage fraud. Our home was on the tax roll for $1.2 million. We owed $260. They thought they'd just buy it at the foreclosure, stick it on their asset line to cover their butts. But they didn't perfect their lien. 12 foot of this house, we did an addition. The last 12 foot of this house sits on our property, not on the 1 acre with the deed. That causes the cloud on the title. Can't foreclose. For them to foreclose, either they had to buy me out or offer me to buy them out. Nothing. They just foreclosed.
Okay. All right, we'll continue what's going on now.
All right. Anyway, we moved back in, filed the affidavit title of possession, trespass tri-title, all the legal paperwork, took peaceful possession. House was abandoned. The back door was open, wide open. So I filed the affidavit title of possession and the trespass tri-title. They had a broker that was supposedly taking care of the property.
Local?
Came out about, no.
Was he local?
He was out of Waxahachie.
Michael, how did it feel to see your door open? I'm pretty sure you got security here. How did it feel to see that? I mean, that's crazy.
Well, the first 6 months after they put us out, we lived in a motel. 2 adults, 3 children in a motel for 6 months because there was nothing here to rent, nothing. Then we finally found the house to lease, paid $6 grand for a house to lease. And that lasted for nearly 18 months. We wake up one morning, the constable's knocking on the door. We got to move because that house had been foreclosed on. So we're back to a motel for 6 months. Then I found these FEMA trailers that are out here. We put them here. We lived in them 2 FEMA trailers, and I lived in that red storage building over there from 19 till December of 2022. Every day we had to sit here and look at our home. I got into with some common law people. And all our laws are based on common law, not what they call common law now, real common law. But they created these administrative courts, and they were created for corruption. You know, prime example, let me go back. We moved back in December of 22. I get a phone call in March of 24. Nothing in 23. March of 24. The broker Greg Graham calls me and asks me, what would it take for y'all to move out of the house? I said, man, I filed affidavit title possession and trespass title. I see your ass in court. Well, I knew that. I just had to call.
The way it should be, right? I mean,
Yeah. Okay. Rock along there come April. I get a phone call from Aldridge Pite, an attorney in San Diego.
What year?
April of 2024. A month later. Lady says, we're representing the owner of the property. I said, okay, who do you say owns the property? Fannie Mae. I said, well, that's funny because they've denied owning it for 5.5 years. Click, she hung up. Then in May or June, it was June, we get an eviction notice from the same attorney, but with Freedom Mortgage as the mortgage company. So now that's fraud on the court because they misrepresented 2 different mortgage companies. That's actual fraud on the court.
Michael, just knowing your story, us dealing with the city and the county here, what do you think is happening? Do you think it's actual corruption, or do you think it's,
This corruption is so deep nobody has any idea.
That's what I'm saying, but I'm saying, like, do you think it's of course you think it's corruption, but is there a chance that it could be just negligence, ignorance? I mean, I don't know, maybe they don't know the law. I mean, you have a great case here, and I just trip out thinking about it. Like, how can they not move on this or act a certain way, which the county judge, the way he's been acting is a whole other story in itself. But is it actually deep corruption, or is there some ignorance or miscommunication on their part, or what do you think is going on? Go ahead.
It's corruption. They've done this to people for so long because nobody knows. But now with AI, people are learning their rights. They're learning to stand up for themselves. I've kind of stayed out of this county deal, but because of what I've got going on. But there's a lot of things going on in this county that aren't right, and they're time to be exposed.
And if it's happening in Midland County, Texas, you think it's happening across the nation?
This is everywhere. It's across the whole United States. It's a judicial system. They run over people, and I'll give you an example in just a minute. They run over people because they don't know the laws. You can't hire an attorney. I called 75. Nobody would take my case. Do you know why? Because they got to go against the system. They'll pull their bar card. They'll pull their license.
And let's be honest, these attorneys, especially in Midland County, they all know each other. They hang with the DA, the judge. I mean, it's all a big, good old boy system. And that's just the honest truth. That's what I see.
That's everywhere. It's not just Midland. Now, have you interviewed my friend? His situation in Lubbock? I mean, now they're trying to make him a vexatious litigant. To be a vexatious litigant, you have to file 5 lawsuits on the same matter and be denied on all 5 of them. Then they have grounds to make you a vexatious litigant.
That's by law, correct?
Yes.
And he did not do that?
He didn't file 1 lawsuit.
Wow.
They're trying to shut him up and put him in jail for the rest of his life so he quits uncovering the corruption.
Oh, Bryce Chapman, right?
Yep.
Great guy. Very smart guy, Christian. I've spoken to him. I say that he's a good patriot, and he performed for the presidents. I mean, the guy has viral videos.
He's like me.
I was impressed with him.
Prime examples. I filed a motion before we ever went to JP court. Moved this case to district court because there's a title dispute. I filed the affidavit of title possession and trespass title with the JP clerk before trial. Ignored it all, ruled anyway. So basically, this eviction from 24 is void from the JP court. And when he rules against you, then you have to appeal to county court, which makes absolutely no sense because county court has no jurisdiction over land or title.
Okay, Michael, let's rear it back to the paperwork you have in hand. So what have you done from there till now? Explain what's going on currently.
Well, I'm going to explain that. In the last video, I told you I've done something not very many people have done. I got Judge Moore disqualified. Well, there's 2 stories to that. In October, after the trial, where he ruled without jurisdiction, actually the trial was void, the judgment's void even before that. We were never served a court date. By law, constitutional law, procedures of court, they had to serve us a court date. when we were not served, and they had trial without us because we weren't served. We didn't even know the court. Then the other judge, Detmer, vacated the judgment that day when we were in there. The clerk says, we'll reschedule you and notify you of the court date. Never did it. I had to call back. We get to court with Judge Moore. He makes a comment, well, I understand there was a service. I said, yeah, we were never served a court date by the court. Right then, he was to shut it down, properly serve us with 45 days to a court. He just, well, we're here now today. Can't do that. And then twice in testimony, I told him there's a cloud on the title. He was to immediately shut it down, move it to district court.
What's a cloud on the title for people that don't know?
Any kind of conflict with the title. Okay. Whether it's changed possession, and people really need to check their titles, because if your mortgage has been sold to a different company, there could be a break in the chain of your title. And basically what it boils down to is about every mortgage written since, I think it's like 2008, and you can do your own research on this. Don't trust me, do your own research. By law, the title and the deed have to be together. In contract law, when they're separated, that contract is null and void. It's broken. The deed stays at the courthouse, your title's filed in the mirrors, electronic filing system. Something else you can research.
That's a problem?
Yeah, then it makes your mortgage but null and void. The contract null and void when they separate the title. Do your research. You can also research that on that title with mirrors. There's a mirrors number. You can take that mirrors number and go to the Securities Exchange, pull that number up, and that tell me how many times that insurance has been collected on your title. How many times, I mean, everything to do with it, how much money they made off your title. But now back to the court. After he ruled, I filed a motion to disqualify him in October. I filed a motion to dismiss because it was a quasi-judicial system. It was not a court of record. It's an administrative court. Should have been right there shut down, dismissed for lack of a jurisdiction. No, he continues ruling on the case. Sends out you can't appeal a void judgment. A void judgment is void. It's a legal nullity. Nothing can happen on it, period. Judge Moore just keeps sending out writ of possession, forcible detainers. Tells me in court, after he told me he was ruling for the plaintiff, and I said, that's fine. Or you have other avenues. I said, yeah, I know, I'm filing a notice of appeal as soon as you sign the judgment. I hope you have better representation next time. You can't do that. That's downgrading a pro se litigant. That's putting yourself above a pro se litigant and not giving them equal standing in court.
That's not an opinion, that's by law, correct?
Yeah, that's by law. Well, I got a criminal complaint here where he broke the law. Not once, not twice, several times. Anyway, he didn't address the first motion to disqualify. And any time it's filed into the case file, whether you served him or improper service, it doesn't matter. When that's entered in the case file, it has to be addressed by the court. Okay, we rock along here. We go through all this. I file a notice of appeal, which you can't appeal a void judgment. But the JP court made me pay a $1,000 bond to appeal to county court. After I already filed a motion to move it from both courts to district court, county court rules against me, charges us a $4,000 bond to appeal on a void judgment. That's not the kicker. Okay, I filed at day 56, I should have had 90 days to file my appeal. Day 56, Judge Moore sends out a forcible detainer, which means come put us out at gunpoint. Okay, can't do it. So I went ahead and filed my notice of appeal with the appellate court. Rock along there. I get a deal in December that the 11th Court of Appeals denied my appeal for being late. Well, they wanted an explanation. I didn't send them an explanation why I was late. I sent them a writ of mandamus. There is no appeal. There is no appeal to a void judgment. This case is void. Judge ruled without jurisdiction. Rehear it. Filed a motion to reopen it, rehear it in the appeals court. They didn't even read the transcript. In March, they dismissed my mandamus and my appeal for want of jurisdiction, which plainly states they didn't have jurisdiction to rule on it. Yet they taxed me for the appeal. That's illegal. So now I got criminal complaints on the JP, Judge Moore, the 3 appellate court judges, and then when I filed the motion to disqualify the judge that I made in the video that I got him disqualified, well, now I have learned, because I went to the courthouse Friday and I wanted a docket sheet, because when they had the deal to disqualify him, I was supposed to have been notified of the trial. I was supposed to have gotten notice of the order disqualifying him. The only thing in the case file is the regional presiding judge, which now he's disqualified. He just assigned a new judge. They didn't even disqualify him. They just took him off the case. That's not legal. There's no docket setting. There's nothing in the case file other than the notice that they assigned a district judge out of Montana, which now he's disqualified because he didn't follow the procedure. It really doesn't matter. It's a void judgment, period. Actually, nothing can happen on a void judgment because it's a nullity, like it's never happened. But to get anything accomplished, you have to have a court acknowledge that it's a void judgment. Okay? So rock along here, and I filed a motion to dismiss and a motion to quash the writ of possession. I go up to the courthouse, and I've showed this in the last video. I got the sticky note where the clerk showed me my case file. There's a little sticky note that says, court review, do not set trial on my motions. That's a due process violation. That's denying me access to the court. I can't believe they're stupid enough, and pardon my French, but to me it's stupid to write that on a sticky note and put it in the case file. Okay? Then to top that off, I get a letter, or we get a notice in the mail from the court, from Midland. It's a notice of our appeal being denied. And on top of it in black handwriting, appeal denied, there can be nothing else filed in this case. And black ink on top of it. Guess what? That's not in the case file. That was sent from somebody in the court. Okay? So I write a writ of mandamus to the Supreme Court. Okay? It's a void judgment. Here's everything that's happened in Austin, Texas Supreme Court. Here's everything that's happened on this case. It's a void judgment. They're still trying to come after me. Well, the attorneys, now they got fraud on the court 3 times. First time when they represented 2 different mortgage companies. After the void judgment, he filed a motion to set aside the judgment. It's a void judgment. You can't file anything. I filed an objection to it. It's a void judgment. He filed a 44 statement to my objection. 44 different statements.
More?
Yeah, on why the judge had jurisdiction. This happened, this happened, this happened. Excuse me, one thing that they had a warranty deed from 2017. Told them in court, that's fraud. It's fraudulent. 2 reasons. In Indiana, the notaries are only good for 6 years. This is dated January of 17. The notary stamp expires in September of 24. But also, if they have a warranty deed from 2017 and the writ of possession when they kicked us out at gunpoint was not to Freedom Mortgage in July of 2017, was to Federal National Mortgage. So how could they have a warranty deed prior to the writ of possession to a whole different company? They totally ignored it in court. He states in here that in 2017, the deed was transferred to HUD in this 44-page deal. My reply, and I can prove it, that's a false statement for the simple fact. I have an email from the Secretary of HUD, Dr. Ben Carson, from 2019. They don't have this property, they have no interest in this property, and they have never had no interest in this property. I mean, it's they cover each other's butts. Just like he did not disqualify him. He just let him step away. No, that ain't happening. I'm making sure that don't happen. He has to pay for what he's done. I'm taking every step I can take. From the state level to the Commission on Judicial Conduct, which they're the ones that rule the judges, but it's made up of judges and attorneys. So what good is that going to do? To federal. I mean, these are federal civil rights violations. And I don't understand this. Let me make this statement.
Go ahead.
Explain to me why a judge, knowing if he rules outside of jurisdiction, he has no immunity. He doesn't have any judicial immunity when he rules outside of jurisdiction. I can go after him personally. Every one of them that's done something outside of jurisdiction, you can sue personally. They don't have judicial immunity. Why would you make a sticky note? Why would you send a letter? Why would you rule without jurisdiction? Because I'm pro se and they think they can just run over me. Well, guess what? Fat boy learned the law.
So, Michael, where are you at currently?
Currently, I'm filing a deal in the morning. It's a notice that this is unconstitutional. No actions can be taken on it. It's a void judgment. Nothing can be enforced. Anything that they try to enforce from this point forward will be met with constitutional violations of U.S. 42, 1983 federal lawsuit for judicial misconduct, criminal charges.
And who are you filing that with?
I'm filing in the county court, but I'm also sending a supplement to the Texas Supreme Court because not this past Friday, day before yesterday, but Friday before last, I get an email that the Supreme Court dismissed my mandamus as moot. Means there's nothing going on, there's no need to act on it, with the harm and everything still going on. So I refile Monday a motion to rehear. It's a void judgment. You're continually causing harm to my special needs children by not ruling. You have a constitutional duty and an oath to uphold the Constitution to sign it as a void judgment or make the courts.
What was the reasoning for saying it's moot?
This done, didn't give a reason. This is moot. Dismissed as moot. It's the only thing I got. Then when I file that, I got this in the mail yesterday. This one. In the reference of more, today the Supreme Court of Texas received and filed relator's motion for rehearing on the petition for writ of mandamus, which means they've taken it back in front of the court to hear it again. They can't, I mean, well, I guess they can do whatever the hell they want to, but by the Constitution and their oath to the Constitution, they have to either vacate all the orders or send an order back down to the county court to vacate all the orders because it's void. I mean, it's a constitutionally void judgment. No questions asked, nothing else can be done.
Okay, any other updates on the case before I start asking any questions? Anything else you want to add?
Listen, I'm filing a criminal complaint tomorrow too. That's naming everybody, every actor. When that court reporter changed the transcript, because when he told me in court, and I got 3 witnesses, I hope you have better representation next time, that's omitted from the transcript.
That's not good.
Yeah, and then when my constitutional guy, that was actually my counsel per se, tried to question him, and he told Charles, he was questioning about how come we're not addressing the affidavit title, trespass title. Well, we don't have time for that today. I got other cases. That's omitted from the transcript.
And you heard him say that?
I had 3 witnesses.
Not just you?
Not just me.
Okay.
I mean, it's deep, but it's not just here. I've got friends now when I got into this, from Dallas to, I mean, all across the country.
It's basically like a movement, right? I mean, people are being screwed over, excuse my language, and...
Oh, they've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
Now people are starting to find out their rights.
Okay, so...
We can discuss that when you want to.
Okay, so you're filing this tomorrow. Austin, who's the judge that ruled on you?
Oh, that's the other thing. When I filed this rehearing, I also put in there, and it's public record, I want to know the way each justice voted on the dismissal as moot. And I want to know how each judge votes on the rehearing. It's public record. They have to expose it. And how that word, I mean, how we word it. for future judicial or future, anyway, so I can go after them in the future because they broke their oath to the Constitution.
Okay. And I guess we're winding down the video real quick. We're out there speaking about that sign out there. Anything you want to add about that sign that you have out there in front of your property?
Just like I said out there, Christine wanted to make them signs and put them up, and I kept telling her, let's hold off. Let's let justice work, because I really thought it would. And then I realized when the Supreme Court done this, put them up. And I have learned, and what we're doing, the only way we change this is with public pressure. We've got to put the pressure on them publicly. We have to be careful, make sure that we're following the law. What we're saying is what's actually happened by the law. And I will tell you this, Bryce and I are fixing to put out a Facebook page, and we've got several contacts already to contact with us. We're going to organize a rally at the state capitol strictly for people that have been abused by the judicial misconduct. And I got a feeling it's going to be large. Because they've already, I mean, AI gave us all the TV stations to call, all of these other organizations that are doing the same thing we're trying to do. Because it's going to take us all coming together to make it happen.
And it's just sad because you would think, I mean, again, from me knowing you, your family, it's not like you're not criminals. You're just everyday Americans that work hard, have businesses, you pay your taxes, you're citizens of Midland County, and for you to get the, I say run around, but that's probably the bad word to use here, to be actually, I guess, screwed over by not just the local officials, even out there in Austin. It's horrendous. It's not right, and that's why we are covering this story, because something right here is not this ain't right here. To do a taxpaying citizen the way they're doing you, the way they did you and your family, and you're doing everything the right way. You're going through the court proceedings the correct route, I would think, and for them to, you know, from writing sticky notes to omitting statements, this is, we got a swamp right here.
Man, the law is black and white. You've heard me say that how many times? It's when you get, well, it's on the books as black and white.
But it seems like they don't even.
Well, they created this language of their own. It's called legalese. Okay, we've touched on this before. Where it all gets corrupted is when attorneys and judges get involved. Because they want to twist this, twist that. Well, the law could say this, or the law could say that. Yeah, it could, but it don't. It says it right there. This is what the law is. And it's going to take a grassroots movement of people standing up to get accountability. This goes all the way to the federal level. I mean, look what Trump's fighting every day. Judges, even though they've been told by the Supreme Court they don't have the right to do this, they still do it every day. Imagine when the problem is they have no accountability. Nobody holds them accountable. You have the Commission on Judicial Conduct. It's made up of 5 judges, 4 attorneys, and 2 local guys. I mean, 2 normal guys. Now they passed it to change it. Here's the problem. It's still going to be 4 judges, 2 attorneys, and 7 appointed people. Who's going to be appointed? They're appointed by the governor. Whoever donates the most, that's the one that's going to get a job. I mean, you got to have people that are going to hold them accountable.
And that's what we're dealing with locally. Nobody's being held accountable, and then you hold them accountable, and then they start slandering you, and they all come against you. Basically, the nest of wasps come out against you. But I guess let's wind it down here, Michael. Final words to everybody watching this video. A great take on this. I wish you the best of success with this. Final words. Go ahead.
Oh, I have success. I have to have success. Constitution says I have success, and they have to do the right thing. They don't apply it, but originally they've changed it now to take this out of it. If you go back and look, it plainly states when the officer breaks his oath to the Constitution, that's treason. They've changed it now where that doesn't apply. But that's what it actually boils down to. They have broke their oath to the Constitution. They committed treason to the Constitution. And, you know, I'm this way. I wanted to follow the rules. I was going to be nice. But I don't care if I piss them off now. I'm calling them out. You got a duty to sign this. You have an oath to sign this. My family's been through enough for 10 years. I mean, I have a special needs child that didn't get the care she needed, didn't get the therapy she needed because of what they did to us. You know, I don't mind telling you, I filed bankruptcy 3 times. I could do it every 6 months, stay in this house, hoping they would take my money, pay it off. And the day I couldn't do it anymore, the next day they showed up here with a writ of possession on a void judgment with no clear title. It's not just, we can survive. I mean, we've survived it, but it harmed our marriage. It harmed my children's life to live in a motel as 10-year-olds, 8-year-olds, what were they, 9, 10 years old, moving to a motel. A teenager living in a motel. Living here, and 2 of them living in one trailer and the wife and the other in another trailer, and me sleeping in a damn storage building. Somebody needs to pay for this. And they're gonna pay. I'm not done. You know, when I was younger, I wanted to be an attorney. I'm glad I didn't, because then I'd be like all the rest of them. Now I've learned the law. I'm learning it more and more. But, you know, I saw their little rules. You know, if you help somebody, they'll come after you for practicing law without a license. I mean, you're trying to do it to a guy in Fort Worth because he's helping people. They're trying to file on him as practicing law without a license. It's like Bryce's case. They're trying to steal all that because they want to build a lake up there. And now they're trying to make him a vexatious litigant. If they do that, he can never file nothing else in a court case in the state of Texas. Ever. Not without the court's approval, which they're never going to approve it. I mean, this is deep, man. And this is nationwide. This ain't just in Midland, Texas.
That's part of the scarier part, right? It's not just here.
Oh, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. All right. Well, I appreciate it, Michael. Anything you want to add before we end the video here?
Just pray for us. God's got us this far. I pray every night. Show me what I need to do. And every day something new pops up. So I feel like I'm doing what he wants me to do, or I wouldn't keep getting the information.
Amen. Ain't that funny how it works, right?
Oh, that's the way it works.
Man thinks they know it all, and then we get the answers from the Lord, and we can move mountains like that.
Yep. That's what's going to happen here. We're going to move mountains on this deal.
Amen.
He's going to help us.
Appreciate it, Michael.